opportunity for the school system, and we're looking forward to it. Several people I want to introduce here today. Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle, who's here speaking later. State Senator Steve Gooch. Dr. Benita Jacob, President of North Georgia College and State University. Dr. John Raber, Lumpkin County Board of Commissioners. Tim Bannon, Lumpkin County BOC. Todd Pelock, President of Habersham EMC. Gary McCullough, Manager of Mayor Dahlonega. Terry Peters, Dahlonega City Council. Johnny Arema, Dahlonega City Council. Sheriff Stacy Gerard. The Lumpkin County Board of Education is here today. Bryson Payne. Mike Cottrell. Charlie Oberman from Dawson County Economic Development Authority, and Chris Dockery. So at this time, I'm going to turn over to Ethan Norton, one of our students who will share technology in the classroom. Ethan?
I've been a student at Lumpkin County High School for going on about 10 years now, and I've seen the transition, or not the high school, the school system, and I've seen the transition that technology can happen in the classroom. I've seen the transition from smart boards back when we had whiteboards to overhead, so I've seen the impact and the evolution of technology in the classroom and the effect it can have on our education. And I believe that this fiber optic network that's being introduced into the Northeast region is really going to help improve our education, because it's going to help the teachers themselves be able to use the internet more as a tool instead of more of a liability, because right now the internet's really slow out here in the rural areas. So I believe that this technology is really going to help improve our education, because teachers will be able to access the internet in a more, in a better way, I guess. I guess right now I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Scott Woods.
Actually, I'm going to take. Good morning. It's good to be back in Dahlonega, isn't it? All you guests that are here, welcome. We love Dahlonega and our North Georgia mountains, and we're glad you're here to share this great moment with us. I want to introduce a guy from the government. We're all from the government, pretty much, I think, but this gentleman is from Washington, D.C. His name is Scott Woods. He's with the NTIA, and that's the National Telecommunications and Information Administration. This is the organization that helped fund this big project up here in the mountains. Over $30 million of federal monies on this project. And if it weren't for the guys in Washington, it wouldn't be here today. So at this time, I'd like for you to welcome Scott Woods to the podium. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. I'll be brief so we don't melt here. Just want to welcome you to this event. Again, my name is Scott Woods. I'm with the National Telecommunications and Information Administration in Washington, D.C. And I am pleased to be here with you this morning to celebrate the activation of North Georgia Networks, the CPOP, here in Lumpkin County. As you may recall, we're back in December 2010, Vice President Biden came to this region, actually to Dawsonville, Georgia, to announce the Recovery Act investment of approximately $33 million to establish infrastructure for a new technology-based infrastructure in North Georgia. This investment will not only expand and improve broadband service, but it will also help lay the groundwork for long-term, sustainable economic growth in the region. When Vice President Biden announced this investment, he talked about the benefits that broadband technology could provide, and particularly in the education and the business community in North Georgia. Today, the activation of NGN CPOP and the establishment of broadband service to Lumpkin County schools are indicative of the goals and impact of our Recovery Act grants program. Let me give you just a few highlights of what we've done to date. The NTIA is currently overseeing about 230 projects nationwide to expand broadband access and adoption. These projects are building and upgrading broadband infrastructure, expanding and improving public computer centers, and promoting sustainable broadband adoption through computer training and other educational approaches. Despite the growing importance, of internet in daily life, about 20% of Americans never go online or have access to the internet. Many towns and community anchor institutions, such as the schools and the libraries, here in Lumpkin County do not have adequate broadband service, and this is a growing trend nationwide. Thanks to the Recovery Act, the NTIA has invested in numerous projects nationwide to help close and address this gap. These projects are already having a positive impact on the lives of Americans. New public community centers or public computer centers are open, free computer classes and job training are underway, and infrastructure projects are under construction. To date, our grants programs reported, the NTIA's grant program, the grantees, the recipients, have reported that they have deployed or upgraded more than 45,000 miles of broadband infrastructure nationwide. They've connected more than 6,000 new community anchor institutions, so those anchor institutions who did not have access, to broadband before. We've installed more than 29,000 public computer workstations, and these efforts have already led to a total of about 260,000 brand new broadband subscribers. As you are aware, broadband infrastructure and technology are the platforms for the 21st century economy. If you lack access to broadband, you are cut off from many economic and educational opportunities. But when a community has sustainable broadband, businesses, organizations are able to sell their goods all over the world. Students can attend classes online that otherwise would not be accessible to them, and rural doctors can consult with hospitals thousands of miles away. Our emphasis on broadband stems from the fact that it is a vital link to provide opportunities to our citizens to participate more fully in the global economy. When you don't have regular access to the internet, you don't have access to all the educational, employment, and economic development opportunities that it provides. NTIA's investment in NGN's broadband network will help bring these benefits to the citizens of North Georgia. Equally as important, the NGN project, as well as the other Recovery Act projects across the country, have helped put Americans and keep Americans to work, which in turn directly helps our economy. In closing, we are encouraged and enthusiastic about the work that Bruce Abraham, the NGN team, and its project partners have done to date, and we look forward to working with NGN to deploy a robust and full broadband infrastructure network here in North Georgia. So I thank you and welcome you to the establishment of this CPOP here in Lumpkin County. Thank you and welcome.
Scott, we appreciate you coming all the way down from Washington to share in this great historic day in Lumpkin County. Our next speaker is not a stranger to any of you. He's our Lieutenant Governor of Georgia, the great Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle. He lives in Hall County. He's been our senator here in Lumpkin County in the past. He's a great leader in the state. He's real passionate about economic development and jobs in Georgia. We're seeing some great things happen under his leadership at the Capitol and under the leadership of the Governor Nathan Deal. And it's been an extreme honor and privilege for me to serve all of us here in North Georgia in the Senate. But primarily I wanted to say what an honor it's been to serve under his leadership. And at this time I would like for you to give a warm welcome to our Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle.
Thank you, Senator. It's great to be here, and it's even more thrilling to see so many friends that have meant so much to me in my career, and going back, as the Senator indicated, the opportunity I had to serve in the State Senate and serving this community, and now obviously as Lieutenant Governor. But this is really a historic day not only for Lumpkin County but for North Georgia as well. It took a real vision, a vision that really was led by then Chairman Mike Cottrell and Bruce Abrams, who really stepped up to the plate to cast a vision of what economic opportunity is going to look like for North Georgia for the future. And when we think about what broadband really means, it's amazing not only as we think about it as an economic engine, but also an engine that fuels our kids' minds. Education is critical. I think about what we've been able to do with Direct to Discovery, and where kids are able to learn things that really we only dreamed about 10 years ago, but because of access and because of technology and what we celebrate today, we're going to have the opportunity for kids to have individual educational models that will be available to them 24/7. And it's going to fuel the intellectual properties that these individuals are going to provide for us for generations to come. The marketplace is changing rapidly. I love to use the example of really what Home Depot. All of us know Home Depot because they're on virtually every corner. Home Depot does about $50 billion a year in revenue. But Amazon.com Home Depot does $60 billion, Amazon.com does $50 billion. Now what's fascinating is we see Home Depot on every corner, but Amazon is somewhere up here. And the reality is, for the first time, they overtook Home Depot as the #1 seller of gas grills. It shows you that the economy is changing drastically, and we've got to be positioned as a state and as a nation to take advantage of it. These are entrepreneurs that now will have the ability to tap into a worldwide marketplace because of this broadband. It took real vision, a dedication. The state stepped up and was able to provide some additional some initial funds through the One Georgia Authority to help this process. But this today is a celebration of what the new economy is going to look like, but more importantly, ways in which entrepreneurs and businesses are going to be able to thrive here in North Georgia. And it's a true honor for me to be here and to celebrate and to compliment each of you for your commitment to making sure that we're on the cutting edge of technology in North Georgia. Thank you so much.
Good morning. I'm Chris Dockery. I'm the chairman of the Development Authority of Lumpkin County, and on behalf of the Development Authority, I'd like to thank you for being here today. Also, I'd like to recognize the members of the Development Authority that are here. And we also have our former chairman, Mike Cottrell, and I think I saw Alfred Chang, who was a former board member as well. So thank you for being here and on behalf of the Development Authority. Back in 2007, the Development Authority saw the need for broadband in this area. And although I don't think we fully understood what an impact it would be, we started that journey to get the broadband here in this area. And since then we faced many obstacles. Some of them we went around, some of them over, under, and a couple of them I think we actually just went through them. But there were many obstacles. But I have to say the thing that sticks out in my mind most of all of this project is the fact that our community pulled together. We involved the Board of Commissioners, the City of Dahlonega, the Lumpkin County School System, North Georgia College and State University, the Chamber of Commerce, and we were also able to incorporate the cooperation of other communities around us, and in addition to the EMCs that participate in the project. So I think my biggest takeaway and the biggest lesson learned from this is I think we're unlimited as to what we can accomplish if we all work together. Again, I appreciate you being here, and I'll be followed by our Director for the Development Authority, also known as Senator Steve Gooch.
You know, I was sitting here just reminiscing a lot about the old days. We all have memories of our youth, and my assistant principal, who's now the superintendent, Dewey Moy, has probably heard me talk about this in the past, but we had a lot of fun right back here behind this building growing up in this high school. Dewey, we weren't always in class like we were supposed to be. You thought we were, but we weren't. But there's a lot of changes taking place over the last 25 years since I graduated from Lumpkin County High School. Most of us are young enough or old enough to remember the first computer you ever brought home in your house. You know, it was probably a 386 machine or a 1088, or it was a slow moving machine, but we thought it was fast when we got a 486 and we plugged it into that old 56K modem, and you'd hit the send button and you'd go get a cup of coffee or go get something out of the refrigerator and make a sandwich, come back and it's still sending. And every time we'd upgrade our computer, we thought we were really doing something, you know. But today, everybody here probably has one of these smartphones or an iPhone. You probably have an iPad out here in your car or at your office. You have 4 or 5 gadgets yourself, and then all your children, your spouses, they have them. You know, you can even go down to the wagon wheel today and sit at the wagon wheel and have breakfast and surf the internet right there at the wagon wheel. And we've come a long ways in the last 25 or 30 years. But Sharon, if you write anything about the wagon wheel, make sure it's good. I saw you grab your pencil. But this was the health department. For all of you guys that remember, it was the health department at one time, then the superintendent's office, and the water tank behind us. So things are changing. Got a new school over here. It used to be the gym, middle school gym. It's about to open. Progress is good in our community, and it's good in our state, and it's going to show great benefits. And progress and technology, change, those are things that some people are fearful of, but I think we need to embrace them. And we need to all work together as a community, as a state, and as a nation to move forward. It's a global economy, we all know that. We're competing with Japan, China, South America, Asia, Europe, you name it. We see companies coming back to Georgia now, like Caterpillar, coming from Japan back to the U.S. Baxter, big companies, big names, big jobs coming back to Georgia. And it's because of leadership of people either in elected positions or hired positions, and a lot of volunteer positions. And there's a lot of volunteers here today, and I want to congratulate all of you for this day in North Georgia. This is successful for our community. As a director of the Development Authority, it gives me another tool in my toolbox to go out and talk to prospects. We already have some broadband capacity in this county. We understand that, and we need it, but we need more. And this is going to provide that extra kick that we need in our toolbox. And we've got Charlie Alderman here from Dawson County. He's the director of the Development Authority there. Mitch Griggs from Union County Development Authority. He's here. I don't see any other ones. Tom O'Brien from White County. I'm not sure if you're here or not. But we work as a region. We work together. What's good for Union County is going to be good for Lumpkin County. What's good in Blue Ridge is going to be good in Dahlonega. What's good over in Habersham is going to be good in Dawson County. We have to work as a region and work together. And this is a great example of it. Just look at this map of this ring. It's not just coming to Lumpkin County. It's not just going to come up 400 to Dawson County and stop. It's going to continue on through the mountains in these rural areas that have been held back for decades because there weren't the numbers of people and the density there that would really justify having $10 or $20 million invested back in the day. But today is a new day. People move here to get away from some of the traffic and some of the congestions. You know, we're grateful to have Atlanta just an hour away from us, 2 hours if you leave at 7 o'clock in the morning. But a lot of people get here and they say, I don't want to drive back and forth. But if we don't have the infrastructure that allows them to stay here and work, then they won't move here. So this is going to be a great tool for us, and I think it's just a testimony to the success in the past. The city and the county have worked together on lots of things. This is a state and a regional effort that's going to bring great benefits to our country and to the southeastern United States, not just to North Georgia. So I want to just thank everybody who had a part in this and made it possible. It's going to help my children. I have a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 9-year-old. They're all going to go to school here behind me, and I'm proud to be able to say that. I want them to go to the public school systems. I want the educational system in Georgia to be the best it can be, and this project will help them be better. I guarantee it will. I know it will. It's going to help my children learn so they can go out and compete for the good jobs, and that's what I want. I'd love them to stay here and work, and I'm going to do everything I can to get jobs to my community and to my region. But if they leave here, I want them to be prepared for what's out there in that global community. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of this. This is exciting, and we're going to hear from we're going to hear from Bryson Payne from North Georgia College, who is a technical guru. He knows a lot about this stuff that I don't know, but He's on the board for the North Georgia Network and also the local community board. And it's good to have him as part of our community at North Georgia College. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. When we began talking with Bruce and Nancy almost 5 years ago about the need for fiber optic broadband in the region, and we found out that Charlie and Tom and Mitch were looking for the same thing, I was focusing mainly on the needs of North Georgia College and State University. But as 4 county development authorities and the university worked together, we quickly caught Nancy Cobb's vision that we needed to bring an abundance of fiber connectivity to the North Georgia region, where before we'd only known scarcity. We saw that it didn't matter if Lumpkin or one of our neighbors had the best and fastest train in the world if the tracks started and stopped at the county lines. This team recognized that to bring the next generation of jobs and prosperity to our part of the country, we needed to focus on a high-speed fiber line through all of our counties. We needed to band together to get broadband together. Our past president, Dr. David Potter, shared that vision and generously allowed me to serve on the North Georgia Network team to help make this dream come true. We couldn't have known 5 years ago that North Georgia College and State University would be consolidating with Gainesville State College, forming a 15,000 student regional university with even higher bandwidth needs than we could ever imagine. But thanks to the work of the NGN team and our EMC partners, North Georgia can now connect to existing fiber from Gainesville to share a 1 gigabit connection between the 2 campuses. 5 years ago, we didn't have a branch of the university in Cumming, but this fall, we'll be able to connect the new University Center at Georgia 400 to both Gainesville and Dahlonega at the highest speeds in the region. Now our new president, Dr. Bonita Jacobs, has cast the vision for North Georgia to join the GigU Consortium. And when we become members of this Gigabit University organization, we will be the only other institution in the state besides Georgia Tech to be recognized for delivering gigabit services to our communities. We can barely begin to envision what the technology landscape will be like in another 5 years. But we know that with this investment in abundance, this investment in our infrastructure, and this investment in our future, the North Georgia region will be ready for every educational opportunity, every industry that's created or grown, and every job that's added. Today we bring Lumpkin County and our neighboring counties to the right side of the digital divide. I'd like to welcome to the podium the president of Habersham EMC, one of the folks who's made the trucks roll for this project, and the chairman of the North Georgia Network Board, Todd Pelock. Todd.
Thank you, Bryson, and good morning. It's great to be here. I tell you, it's taken us 2 to 3 years to get to this point. This is a great milestone, and appreciate everybody for showing up today and helping us celebrate. On behalf of the North Georgia Network Board of Directors, I want to thank all the parties that have made this possible today. It really, I tell you, as I think about it, I believe this is probably one of the best regional projects that I've ever seen in my lifetime, of folks really coming together and getting behind and seeing the need for something for our kids, for our healthcare industries, you know, for our future here. And the North Georgia Network is going to be able to deliver that. We're kind of moving now from a construction phase here in Lumpkin County to a phase of having some infrastructure to then put that into place and to drive innovation and job creation. Just like the chairman of the Development Authority here, that's really what this project is about, is to help our communities to be enabled to keep the next generation of jobs. Bruce and I were in a seminar last week, and one of the presenters mentioned that through their work they had studied, and they found that 45% of the new job creation in existing industries were very, very tightly correlated with technology. And so we've got to have infrastructure like this to be able to keep our existing jobs, and also for these kids to be able to be innovators in the future. I want to thank everyone for showing today, and thank you for all the support. And if there's ever any way that I can help in any way, be sure and let us know. Habersham EMC is one electric co-op in the state of many, and you know, we see the fever here bubbling up. I'm excited about seeing the opportunity of the electric co-ops playing a role in helping to build some infrastructure in these rural areas. Thank you very much. In addition to the Lumpkin County Development Authority, they're inside early on. They really need to be special recognition for Steve and Chris and going back to Mr. Cottrell, that early vision. But Bruce Abraham has been the key here for us to be able to pull this together on a regional basis, and Bruce deserves special recognition this morning.
Well, I'm the cleanup hitter. I'm going to get to the refreshments real quick. When I left the Lumpkin County Development Authority, they gave me a gift that I'm extremely proud of. And I promised them I'd wear this proudly, and by golly, here it is. This facility is a gift from the Development Authority of Lumpkin County. It's a gift from the state of Georgia, from the federal government, from the North Georgia College, from Habersham EMC. It's a gift from everybody in this community wanting to get someplace in the future and do better for the future and make a better lives for our kids. That's what this is all about. This gift will bring world-class education to this community where they can touch every library in the world and they can have access to all the knowledge available. This gift is an economic opportunity that lets you touch every job in the world and operate in the global economy. And I'd like to thank you all for this gift. Thank you all very much for this gift. There's some individuals that I would personally like to thank who have soldiered through this project from the beginning when this was just a dream, and these are all dreamers like myself. And so...
I'm sorry, we can't hear you.
Can't hear me? I kind of like it. First, I'd like to thank Nancy Cobb with the state of Georgia. Nancy, if you'd come stand right up here with me. Nancy had the vision for these projects, and Nancy has persevered through this, and she got us $2.5 million from the state. Nancy, thank you. Next, I'd like to thank Charlie Alverman. Charlie and I put this project together way back in the dark ages. Charlie, would you come up here? Charlie's with Dawson County. We threw in together on this grant. Sean and I put our shoulder to this, and the three of us made this happen. Tom O'Brien, Mitch Griggs, J.D. Rusk, if you'd come up here also. These were the guys who pitched in early on and said, let's just do this. Let's put our community together because we're stronger together than we are separate. The NTIA, where's Scott? Scott, get over here. The federal government pitched in and they said, hey, we'll put our shoulder to this also and we'll make this happen. The Lumpkin County Development Authority members, that would be Don Trice, my hero, my mentor. Don, come up here. Tinker, John, JB, Steve Gooch, Jimmy, Alfred. These are my pals. Come on up here. Todd Pelock with HEMC. Todd Pelock. Todd threw in on this early. He got this project and he took a risk with us. How could I forget him? Mayor Gary McCullough. Gary's been a cheerleader for this. Back before we even understood this, what this was, Gary was cheerleading for this project. Gary, come on up here. Sharon Hall. Sharon's been reporting on this and talking about this, and she's kind of on the other side. She's nervous about being on this side of it, but Sharon, come on up here, okay? Leanne Roy. Where's Leanne? Where's little Leanne? Leanne Roy. Leanne Roy. Both of these grants that brought $42 million to this community. Thank you, Leanne. Greg Richardson. Greg was the design brain behind this project with Ceridium. Greg, we couldn't have done it without you. Where's Greg? Get on up here. Bryson Payne. Bryson was he was the fire in the belly of this project when it first started. We appreciate Bryson. I know I've forgotten a few folks, and you've all thrown in, you've all been excited about this, but I remember these folks, and these folks are especially close to my heart because they took us from an unknown place to a known place here where we have this capability in this community. There's one other guy. He's a pretty good friend of mine. And he constantly reminds me of something that his father said. And I carry this around in my pocket from a meeting that I had with this guy. He says, if you want to reach the moon, shoot for the stars. And that's one of my very good friends, Mr. Mike Cottrell. Get up here. Thank you all for pitching in on this. Thank you all for making this happen. The kids in the next generation will remember this. They won't remember your names, but they'll remember what you did here. So thank you all very much, and I love you all very much.
Match it on this side. Push that. Everybody reach in. Push. Everybody reach in. Put your hand on it. All right. Light up the world.
Light her up. Ta-da.
It's hot.
Is it lit?
It is hard to see in the sun.
That's pretty dramatic.
Wow. Hey. This fire. Good. No matter what, it's cold. The sun